Be honest. How many times have you sat down to do one simple thing and then suddenly 20 minutes are gone? You picked up your phone for 1 second, then you checked a message, then another, then a video, then one more. And now you are staring at the screen thinking, why can't I focus? You are not lazy. You are not broken. And no, your brain did not suddenly become weak. Something bigger is happening. Your attention is being pulled in 100 directions every single day, and most people do not even notice it happening. In this video, I will show you why you cannot focus anymore, what is stealing your attention, and what you can do to take your brain back. Now imagine a typical Tuesday morning. Your alarm goes off at 6:30 a.m. Before you even get out of bed, you grab your phone, just for a minute. You check the weather, then a text message, then an email from work, then a news headline, then a video someone sent you last night. 10 minutes later, you're still in bed scrolling. You finally get ready and head to work. Maybe you're driving, maybe you're on the train, maybe you're working from home. Either way, your brain is already busy. By 9 a.m., you've seen hundreds of pieces of information, emails, messages, notifications, news updates, social media posts, ads, videos, memes. Now you sit down to do something important. Maybe it's a report, maybe it's studying for an exam, maybe it's building a business, maybe it's finally working on that goal you've been putting off. You open your laptop, you tell yourself, okay, time to focus. 5 minutes later, your phone lights up. You don't even think about it. Your hand moves automatically. One notification becomes three becomes 10. Then somehow you're watching a video about a guy restoring a truck from 1978. You have no idea how you got there. An hour passes, the work is still waiting, and that's the moment most people blame themselves. They think, what's wrong with me? I used to be able to focus. Maybe I'm just lazy. But what if the problem isn't you? What if your brain is reacting exactly the way it was trained to react? Because once you understand what's really happening inside your mind, everything starts to make sense. Your brain was built for survival, not for endless scrolling, not for 47 notifications, not for opening 12 apps in 1 hour. A long time ago, attention was simple. If something moved, you noticed it. If a sound was strange, you looked. If there was danger, your brain reacted fast. That same brain is still inside you today. The problem is, now everything is trying to steal your attention. Your phone, your social apps, your emails, your news, your work, your thoughts. Your brain keeps saying, look there, look here, check this, don't miss that. So when you try to sit and focus, your mind feels restless. It is not because you are weak, it is because your brain is doing what it was trained to do, react to signals. Here is the truth nobody says clearly enough. You are not just fighting distraction, you are fighting an entire system designed to capture your attention. Apps make money when you stay longer. Platforms win when you keep watching. Algorithms learn what excites you and feed you more of it. That means your focus is not just being lost by accident, it is being competed for. Every swipe gives your brain a tiny reward. Every new post feels like maybe something more interesting is one click away. So your brain starts craving the next thing before you finish the current one. That is why boring work feels harder now. Not because boring work changed, but because your brain got used to constant stimulation. Think about what happens on a typical evening. You get home after work. You've been busy all day. Maybe you've been in meetings. Maybe you've been answering emails. Maybe you've been dealing with customers, deadlines, or family responsibilities. Now you finally have some free time. You tell yourself you're going to do something productive. Maybe read a book. Maybe learn a new skill. Maybe work on a side hustle. Maybe finally start that project you've been thinking about for months. But before you begin, you decide to relax for a few minutes. Just a few minutes. You sit on the couch and open your favorite app. The first video is interesting. The second one is funny. The third one is shocking. The fourth one teaches you something new. And before you realize it, an hour has disappeared. Then two. Now it's late. You're tired. The book never got opened. The project never got started. The side hustle can wait until tomorrow, and tomorrow somehow becomes next week. The scary part is that nobody forced you to waste that time. Nobody stood behind you and said, don't work on your goals. Instead, Hundreds of brilliant designers, engineers, and algorithms quietly competed for your attention and won. Not because you're weak, because they understand something most people don't. Human attention is one of the most valuable resources on Earth. And every day, thousands of companies are competing to capture as much of it as possible. Which means every time you sit down to focus, you're not just fighting your own distractions. You're entering a competition. And most people don't even know they're playing. Let's talk about dopamine in a simple way. Dopamine is not just the happy chemical. It is more like a wanting chemical. It pushes your brain to chase things. So when you get a new message, a new video, a new like, or a new piece of information, your brain goes, nice, more of that. The problem is when your brain gets too many quick rewards, normal life starts feeling slow. Reading feels slow. Studying feels slow. Working on one task feels slow. Even resting can feel boring. So your brain starts jumping from one thing to another, hunting for the next small reward. And that creates the exact problem you feel every day. You want to focus, but your brain wants stimulation. Have you ever sat in a coffee shop and watched people? Almost nobody is just sitting. The moment there is silence, a hand reaches for a phone. Not because something important happened, because the brain has become uncomfortable with doing nothing. Try this. After this video ends, sit in a chair. No phone, no music, no screen. Just sit. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Most people won't make it. Not because they can't, because their brain has forgotten how. A lot of people say, I am good at multitasking. Usually that is not true. What most people call multitasking is really just task switching. You are not doing two things well. You are jumping between them. Answering a message, then checking a video, then going back to work, then remembering something else, then opening another tab. Each switch costs energy. Each switch breaks your flow. So by the end of the day, you feel tired even if you did not do deep work. That tired feeling is real. Your brain was busy switching, not focusing. This is why you can feel mentally exhausted and still not feel productive. You were moving a lot, but not going forward. Think about the first thing many people do when they feel even a little bored. They grab the phone. Waiting in line? Phone. Feeling awkward? Phone. Sitting alone? Phone. Lying in bed? Phone. That sounds harmless. But over time, your brain learns something important. The second life gets quiet, escape is one tap away. So now your mind no longer knows how to sit with silence. And silence is where focus is born. If every boring moment gets filled instantly, your brain never learns to stay with one thought long enough to build depth. That is why concentration feels harder than it used to. Sometimes the problem is not distraction alone. Sometimes it is stress. When your mind is worried, your brain does not want deep focus. It wants safety. So instead of concentrating on one task, your mind starts scanning for problems. Did I forget something? What if I fail? What if I am behind? What if I waste time? What if I never catch up? That is not laziness. That is mental overload. An anxious brain is a noisy brain, and a noisy brain struggles to focus. That is why some days you can sit for hours and still get almost nothing done. Your brain is not calm enough to lock in. Focus is not only about willpower, it is also about environment. If your desk is messy, your phone is near you, notifications are on, tabs are open, and your space feels chaotic, your brain gets weak signals everywhere. A focused mind needs fewer choices. The best workers do not always have more discipline. Often they have fewer distractions around them. So ask yourself, is my phone in another room? Are notifications off? Is my workspace clean? Do I know the one thing I am doing right now? Because when your environment is noisy, focus becomes expensive. Now let's fix it. You do not need a magical productivity routine. You need fewer leaks. Start with this. First, choose one task, not 5. 1. Second, remove your phone from reach, not face down, out of reach. Third, work in a short block. Start with 25 minutes, just 25. Fourth, do not try to feel motivated first. Start while distracted. Focus comes after action, not before it. Fifth, give your brain one clear target, one task, one block. One win. This is how you rebuild concentration, not by force, by training. Let me leave you with one final thought. Imagine two versions of the same person. The first version wakes up every day and immediately checks their phone. Notifications, messages, videos, news. The day begins with noise. Every time work feels difficult, they switch to something easier. Every time boredom appears, they reach for stimulation. And over time, focusing becomes harder and harder. Now imagine a second version of that same person. Not a perfect person, not a productivity machine, just someone who makes a few small changes. They put their phone in another room while they work. They spend 25 minutes focusing on one task. They take a walk without constantly checking a screen. They allow themselves to be bored for a few minutes. At first, nothing feels different. The first day is hard. The second day is hard. Even the first week feels frustrating. But something starts happening. The brain begins to adapt. The constant need for stimulation slowly gets weaker. The ability to focus slowly gets stronger. One day they sit down to work and realize they have been focused for 30 minutes without thinking about their phone. A few weeks later, they finish tasks faster. They feel less overwhelmed. Their mind feels calmer. Not because they became smarter, not because they found a secret productivity hack, but because they train their attention the same way you train a muscle. And that's the part most people never hear. Your attention is not fixed. It can get weaker, but it can also get stronger. Which means the person you are today does not have to be the person you are 6 months from now. The brain that learned distraction can also learn focus. So let's bring it all together. You cannot focus because your brain is living in a world it was never designed for. Too much noise, too many rewards, too many alerts, too many interruptions, too much stress. That does not mean you are weak. It means your attention has been under attack for a long time, but attention can be rebuilt. Start small. Protect your environment. Reduce the noise. Give your brain time to adjust. The more you practice focus, the stronger it becomes. And once you understand this, you stop blaming yourself for every distracted moment. You are not broken. You are overloaded. And that can change. If this video described your life, you are not alone. The good news is your brain is still trainable. And the first step is simply noticing what is stealing your focus. If this video helped you understand why focusing feels so difficult today, then you're exactly the kind of person this channel was built for. We're going to explore the psychology behind focus, dopamine, habits, overthinking, and how the modern world is changing the way our brains work. So if you don't want to miss future videos, consider subscribing to the Attention Protocol. And before you go, I have a question for you. What's the biggest thing stealing your attention right now? Is it your phone, social media, overthinking, stress, or something else? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. Until next time, protect your attention.